Daily Mussar. A person should be very careful from becoming sad or depressed. Because sadness and depression will cause you to become impure. Tameh. It's a spiritual quality that's called atzvut. And when you become depressed, you gave her room of opportunity to do its job. Why? It's from a different side. And now you chose to let this impurity penetrate into you. And besides the fact that being sad is bad, because it causes you bitul Torah, you'll be too worried. You can't learn. Utfilah. How can I pray? I'm depressed. Ve'irbuv moach, creating a mess out of your brain. You can't think straight. Remember, yesterday we talked about the amygdala, to have a hot amygdala. Not for nothing, the amygdala sits behind your executive function. It goes right away. It messes up your way you think. On top of that, marbeh ha'atzlut, it will cause you to become very lazy. Because now you have an excuse to do nothing. I'm depressed. What do you want me? I can't do anything. I'm depressed. So sit down at home and watch YouTube all day long. I'm depressed. And not only for doing anything, especially when it comes to lekayem mitzvot v'talmud Torah, because that is the first thing that goes out of the window. Things don't work, take Torah, out of the window. Grenade. It's a problem. Why? Because you said it is impossible. There's a tzivui, if do it Hashem besimcha. It doesn't mean, again, you have to do carnival here every day, in terms of that. Don't be a leitzan, but you should have this internal joy. Open the door for her. You have to have some happiness, internal happiness in you, some joy in you. Again, isn't it enough you got up this morning? You have an ability to change. You have an ability to make new things. There is hope. Don't let this thing, and don't let people who are negatives to control your life. Don't you want to be free? Sadness and depression will anchor you like a stone, like a rock, to a boat. You don't want this to happen. He who wants to be free needs to be happy. You want to add more? No problem. ומזה נמשך מחלוקת בביתו. על לא דבר. You're going to have arguments at home. Your house will fall apart. Your wife will tell you, what's the matter with you? Oh, I'm depressed. Okay, but I married a man, not a rag. And the other way around. You start, and what is the machloket? Over nothing. You end up not only being, immobilized, but for whatever reason, you find an outlet in the other person to take your frustration on them. And then your house falls apart. You want to add more? People are going to hate you. Nobody wants to be around you. You think everybody wants to be around somebody who's like Eeyore. Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. Oh, come on. Not for nothing, they made Eeyore into a donkey, And if you really want to top it all, Gorem lashchina liistalek me'alav. It causes the divine inspiration, the Shekhinah, not to go away, to scram away from you. Liistalek, it runs out of you. It can be. me'alav, from on top of you, u'mikirbo, inside of you. There's going to be a vacancy, an opening of this, like, you'll feel empty. The Kedusha went out. The same thing. A person in his life is Kadosh. He's doing mitzvot, he's doing Torah, Chasadim. He's Kadosh, he's sanctifying himself. The Neshama goes out, the Kedusha goes out. What comes out? Tum'ah. To such an extent, he's become Avi Avota Tum'ah. Same thing here. Why? Ki hashchina, another name for the Shechina, hashchina nikret, is being called Simcha. Ivdu et Hashem, al tikra shemo besimcha, ivdu et Hashem b'shchina. Ve'adam ze hamar rav anacha. He is bitter, full of agony. Ve'lo dai ela shehu midabek im ha'plonit shezohi midata. Not only he threw away his beloved wife, so-called the Shechina, he is attaching himself to the mistress, to the Tum'ah. Ve'im metama oto. And that quality, sadness, will make him more impure. Ki hu chelka, because now he belongs to her. Vesiman ladavar, etzev mazriya zera, lo esev, ela etzev. Lachen, ata ben adam, therefore you, human, she'amarta, beficha, that you say with your mouth, ubelevavcha, and in your heart, to do tikkun yesod, to watch your, to fix the foundation of all, ha'aver ra'a me'alecha. During this time, we are in Parashat Mishpatim. That's the last mem of Shovavim. During this time of reading this parashiyot, it's a good opportunity for a person to fix his wrong sexual interactions. That usually, if you would think about it, happen because a sense of entitlement. You usually would feel entitled and somewhat narcissistic when you're depressed. I'm depressed, I'm allowed to. So, in order to really complete that cycle, guess what? Especially now. Ha'aver ruach ra'a me'alecha, send away this bad spirit from you. V'tiyeh sameach tamid, always rejoice. Ulai tiskeh, maybe you should merit by doing so. Shebiyotcha sameach, simcha shel mitzvah, when you're going to rejoice with the joy of mitzvah, when you're learning Torah, when you're doing mitzvah, when you're doing chatan vekala, you're going to a wedding. You're going to a wedding, you're going to eat from the smorgasbord. You're not going for a free meal. Going to the simcha of witnessing an establishment of a bayit ne'eman b'Yisrael. By being sameach, simcha shel mitzvah, when we do suudat mitzvah, we finish a masechta, brit milah, tidabek b'shchina, because of that, you'll attach yourself to the Shechina that's called Simcha. Sameach besimcha. You're happy in the Shechina. You cannot be sad and then rejoice with God. It's impossible. You want to be attach yourself to the Shechina, to the Simcha? No problem. Be happy yourself. And if you do so, ve'iyata ba liidei chet, And by being happy, you will walk away from the path of sin. Veyadata, and you should know, ki shalom ohalecha, there is harmony among your dwellings. In other words, you will be complete. Sometimes, not always. I'm not talking about chemical or biological procedures that happen in someone's head that is out of his control. We're talking about what we do with our choice. Being depressed. And I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for that. Is a form of narcissism. And I know the DSM doesn't say that. Well, it's okay, they can say whatever they want to say, and I can say whatever I want to say. Then nobody dies and left them king here. With all due respect. It's a form of self-love, self-pity. It's like in music. Sometimes you can play one tune as a major, and sometimes you can play the same note as a minor. It's the same note, just in a different scale, right, piano man? It's the same note, just... So sometimes you tend to beautify yourself, and sometimes it just feels good to be depressed. It's an excuse not to do anything. Like it. Real avodat Hashem, and a part, an integral part, or the key for avodat Hashem, is to be besimcha. I told you this many times. You don't have to go across the ocean or to see enormous things to be happy. It starts with the appreciation of little things. I told you this. I was, I think, 7th or 8th grade. I read those memoirs of an Israeli POW in the Syrian jail, where they tortured them to no end. They were known for the brutality. And he went to the bathroom one morning, all beaten up, tortured, no nails, and he sees a little sign written in Hebrew that somebody wrote. It says, if you can read this, it means you're still alive. There is hope. He said that was the turning point, because he was ready to kill himself. That was the turning point in his life that actually helped him get through it. Being happy is almost equal to having a meaning. And you cannot go through life without a meaning. You cannot go through life without being happy, as much as you cannot go through life without God. The circle is complete when there is happiness and then you worship God. It goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. So Rabbi, don't worry. Be happy as much as you can. There's some things being, bad things come your way. All you can do is not what somebody else throws at you, is what you can do for you yourself inside. So try to be as much as you can. It's a lot of work. It's very difficult. But try to be happy, that you will not be distracted from Avodat Hashem. That you should be able to learn and teach Torah, and to be zocheh, to have Avodat Hashem, to be called a servant of Hashem. Amen. Amen.